As many of you already know, Victor Wembanyama has been dominating headlines after agreeing to a massive rookie max contract extension with the San Antonio Spurs, worth around $250 million. The deal reportedly runs for 4 or 5 years, and here's the part that really caught everyone's attention. Listen to this. Victor is believed to be leaving roughly $51 million on the table over the life of the contract to give the Spurs extra financial flexibility. The idea is simple: create enough cap space so the front office has a better chance of keeping key players and building a championship-caliber roster around him. That tells you one thing: Wembanyama is focused on winning, and you could even see that mindset during his signing video, when he made it clear that he's committed to staying in San Antonio for the long haul. But hold up, not everyone was celebrating the decision. Shannon Sharpe immediately sounded off on his show with a passionate reaction, and at first I thought that would be the end of the debate. Then ESPN's First Take picked up the story, and suddenly the conversation became even bigger. The panel was stacked with Kendrick Perkins, Vince Goodwill, and another analyst, and they all jumped into the discussion. Man, you won't believe how upset some of them sounded over Wembanyama's decision. They argued that by accepting less money, Victor was shifting power away from players and setting a dangerous precedent for future stars. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there wondering, seriously, what exactly is the problem here? So take a listen to what they had to say, and then we'll come right back, because there's a lot to unpack after hearing those comments.
To the NBA we go, where Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs have agreed to a 5-year, $252 million max rookie contract. According to Shams, that happened on Friday. Notably, Wemby decided to take the 25% maximum instead of the 30% supermax escalators that could have seen the contract total reach $303 million over those 5 years. The deal could potentially save the Spurs up to $50 million over the life of the contract. Wemby announced the news on X, saying, quote, "Spurs family, I'm here to stay, whatever it takes." But not everyone is seemingly thrilled about Wemby's deal. NBA PA Executive Director David Kelly had this to say in reaction to Wemby's new contract. Quote, "We think the players should make decisions for themselves, and we should not be pocket watching." That's what Kelly said in response when asked about Wembanyama's deal. "The system should not require a player to carry all of that burden. We should not put a player in the position to carry the burden of keeping a team together." Kendrick Perkins, Vince Goodwill joining us here this morning. Good morning, guys. Vince, want to start with you here. Do you like the move or not like the move from Wemby to leave some money on the table for the Spurs?
I hate it, because ain't neither one of us sitting here gonna leave money on the table. I think it sets a bad precedent for the NBA. I think in terms of the Players Association and the collective bargaining deals since 1998, they have progressively gone in favor of the owners. And the problem is, the Spurs have 3 potential max players on their roster: Victor Wembanyama, Steph Castle, Dylan Harper. Victor Wembanyama maybe can make up that 5% with his Nike deal and everything else. But does that mean Dylan Harper and Steph Castle, they have to take less because Victor Wembanyama took less? I have yet to see anybody buy a jersey that says, "We save money on the back of it." I've yet to see somebody buy a jersey that says, "Cap space and flexibility." Like, you're coming to see Victor Wembanyama and you're watching these players, like, they have a very finite period of time to maximize their earnings potential. I know Victor Wembanyama's an alien and everything else. He's going to get every dollar that's owed to him, but I don't know if I want to applaud this, because I tell you this, when's the last time we asked an owner to sacrifice some money or whatever it is, or ownership groups to sacrifice money for the sake of winning? The fact that you're putting players in a spot where they have to be both player and executive, give them 2 salaries then, because they're doing 2 people's jobs, and I don't like that.
I mean, $252 million, that's it. Wemby should have signed a 10-year, $1 billion deal. That's how valuable he is. That's how box office he is. And I get it, listen, to a lot of people in the world, to us, like we cover this game as students of the game, as analysts, as journalists, and as fans, right? But this is people's jobs. This is these guys' jobs. And even when I was playing and guys were coming up to get their money or getting contracts, I would always say, get your money first and max out, and then worry about the other stuff later. And for the first time, we're starting this show off, and I'm agreeing with my boy Vince, because he's absolutely right. Victor Wembanyama is arguably the most valuable player in the NBA. Every arena he steps foot in is going to be sold out, whether it's in San Antonio or whether it's on the road. Matter of fact, it's only one player that I would spend my hard-earned money to go see, and that's Wemby. I don't want comps. I don't want none of that. So at the end of the day, we have to start applying pressure more on the owners. The whole family ain't hurting for money, and who own the San Antonio Spurs, let them figure it out. I applaud Victor, and I understand he wants to win. He's a competitor. He wants to be on top. He wants to win championships. But I don't encourage no player to leave no money on the table, not one single penny.
I'm sorry, I'm just checking my cup here to see what's it, because we all agreeing with Vinny this morning. Something ain't right. Something is amiss right now. We all agree. I don't know. I don't like the way we started this show. But it's absolutely correct here. This is Adam Silver's legacy right now. Adam Silver right now, as the commissioner of the NBA, has taken the league from the player empowerment era to the player depowerment era, where you have the most important face of the league right now is having to make the decision that if I want to maintain a championship legacy, the only way to do it is to take less money. He knows that, and we have a finals that just happened with Jalen Brunson and Victor Wembanyama, two guys who now have left millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on the table so that their teams can make it to the finals. This is not good for the league. And you think that this Jaylen Brown situation in Boston happens in a vacuum? We're going to see more of this every single offseason. We're going to see more Karl Anthony Towns, Jaylen Brown's teams that are kicking them to the curb. So if a player had decided, I'm going to go to another team in their prime, they're the bad guy.
Yeah.
But if an owner ahead of time says, we're getting rid of them to save money, oh, they're doing cost-cutting measures. They're doing what they have to do to save the money. They're the billionaires. They're the people with the money. Why are we saving them money? Adam Silver has to hold this on his belt, that he is the one that has shifted the power from the players to the owners and allowing them to save all the money.
Yeah, it's the de-empowerment era of the NBA right now.
So you heard everything they had to say. And did you catch the ending where one panelist argued that moves like Victor Wembanyama's are taking leverage away from players and giving it back to team owners? That's really the heart of this entire debate. In their view, this isn't just about one contract. It's about who controls the league going forward. Many fans have long argued that the player empowerment era, often associated with LeBron James because of his influence over free agency and roster decisions, dramatically changed how the NBA operates. Whether you agree with that or not, there's no denying that discussion has been around for years. Critics have also linked that period to player movement, load management, and stars having more control over their careers than ever before. The argument is that owners eventually responded by looking for ways to regain some of that leverage. That's why some people believe Victor's decision represents a different approach. Instead of maximizing every dollar, he's choosing to leave financial flexibility for his team in hopes of building a stronger roster. That's the reason this conversation has become much bigger than just one contract. Hold up, because that's also why some commentators reacted so strongly. They see Wembanyama's decision as a sharp contrast to the recent era, with one side praising it as a team-first mentality, while the other worries it could influence future contract negotiations. You don't have to agree with either side, but it's easy to understand why the opinions are so divided. Then the debate shifted toward whether elite athletes really need to squeeze every possible dollar out of every contract. Some people argue that earning hundreds of millions of dollars already provides more than enough opportunity to build long-term wealth through smart investments and business ventures. Others believe players should always maximize their earnings because careers are unpredictable and every contract affects future negotiations across the league. That's been one of the biggest talking points surrounding this story. Listen to this. The conversation even expanded into broader social and economic issues, with some analysts arguing that superstar salaries have implications beyond basketball. Those comments quickly sparked disagreement because they moved the discussion away from basketball strategy and into much larger topics. Meanwhile, others pushed back by saying there are countless paths to financial success outside of professional sports, and that no single career should be viewed as the only opportunity for generational wealth. Man, that's where the debate became far more emotional than it needed to be. At the end of the day, what many people are really reacting to is the possibility that the NBA could be entering a new chapter. Whether Victor Wembanyama's decision becomes the start of a league-wide trend or remains an isolated case is something only time will answer. But one thing is certain, this contract has everyone talking.